and stand for thousands of years has been traditional land of the Huron, Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently the Mississaugas of Granite River. Today, this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So with that, let me hand over to Sergeant Flanders to make a few opening comments.
Thanks, James. Welcome, everybody. Our final one for 2000. I promised you we had a new superintendent. Wasn't lying. I want to introduce Superintendent Bill Niels, 43 Division's new unit commander. Thank you. I do actually walk on a while. I just want to thank you all for being, such a cool partnership that we have. I've been getting briefed by all of the officers here to what goes on in these meetings and how much value there is to us hearing from you and you hearing from us and the partnerships that go on. All I can say is we'll continue that into the new year. I've been here 6 weeks, and as James says, have they stopped treating you well yet? I said, no, they haven't stopped yet, but I figure over the Christmas break they'll all have enough candies and cookies that they'll come back grumpy in the new year, and then they'll start. They usually do with the superintendent, so we'll get there. But so I just want to thank you and to the Toronto Police members who are here for participating. It's such a valuable exercise, a valuable partnership. So all I can say is let's continue and move along.
Okay, so to start off with the agenda, we're going to go to our analyst, Alan Wan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. I am Alan Wan. I'm a crime analyst here at the division. And like usual, to start the meeting, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of what's been going on here in 43 divisions for the past month. We'll start off. This is a map of the division that shows our community representation here at the CPLC. We have really good representation here in 43, which we're proud of, and we are still always looking to add. So, if anyone wants to come and participate. Now we have this map here. This is the way forward map. This is going very soon. 42 division broken down into neighborhoods. We used to go by zones. In the future, these were by neighborhoods. We got a neighborhood office here, and we have certain officers assigned to our higher priority neighborhoods, which is shown right there. So our neighborhood officers joining us today is back there, and see what that looks like.
Yeah, so as I committed to way back in the summer as we expanded our neighborhood officer program, we're always going to attempt to have a couple of neighborhood officers here. So today we have Constable Melissa Nelson and Constable Jeff Dowding. They represent the Scarborough Village neighborhood and the Bendale neighborhood. So at the break, when we take a break here after we go through the first portion of the agenda, by all means, you can go up and meet them and ask them questions or at least get to know them. Okay?
Okay, first up, we'll talk about collisions this past month. This first map is our collision map. The dots represent actual collisions. The different colors down the left just show you the type of collision it was. And then this map has what we call a heat overlay on it, so a hot spot where they make concentration. Usually, we always do see a pretty big concentration by the Scarborough Town Center. But more so right stronger than usual is Christmas season, and that is by far where we get the most traffic in our division. So if you're driving up in that area, please be careful. And then next up, this is our traffic. This is our collisions. The represents the crosses represent our enforcement efforts within the division. As this improves, see these maps are shown on a weekly basis every Thursday at our crime management meeting. It's a little bit different, so it only has 1 week of information and not a month of information. And then that helps our superintendent and staff sergeants focus our enforcement for the coming weeks.
The last few weeks, because of the information that Adam and our crime analysts and management team provided, we North very active vehicle collisions and accidents. So we've, I want to say, three weeks consecutive drive right across the
concentrated on that area.
Okay, so a couple of our crime maps. This first map is the break-in enters which occurred during the month of November. For the people who come here regularly, you know, especially in the summer, our break-in enters are creeping up. It's one of the stats that is up on us a bit this year. We've been working really hard on that. We have now had several months of reductions. This map does look pretty good. The different color dots are just showing the different zones within the division. But all in all, our entries are trending downwards right now. Very happy.
Yeah, and I like to think a lot of times you look at the stats as far as the arrests. We have made some significant arrests over the last few weeks regarding our break and enters, both residential and commercial. I like to believe that is one of the reasons that they've dropped down. And in the policing world, the absence of crime is a success story. So the fact that we have dropped our break and enters, I'm very pleased with that. I'm proud of the work that you guys are doing.
And not to jinx anything, but this is November's map. If we had December's right now, December 13th, we haven't had a residential entry at this point.
So you just jinxed us.
Hopefully someone's house isn't getting broken into right now. All right, then our robberies, and again, this is a stat that we've been successful with all year long. And as you can see up here right now, very limited amount of dots up there for a division with this population size and state mass-wise. Our robberies all year have been fantastic. Still trying to help.
Yeah, and that's one of those, I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I am very proud of that stat. And I think in part, the CPLC meeting had something to do with it. A lot of it, we continue to send that message, definitely through the summer months, about making sure that you're aware of your surroundings and pass that information along to your neighbors. Being aware that if you're carrying your iPhone and not paying attention, you could be setting yourself up, wearing jewelry that is very visible. All these pieces of information that relate to you. I'm hoping that you're relaying it to your neighbors and the communities you live in, and I think that's part why these stats have been able to be driven down like that.
All right, and last but not least, theft of autos. This is one with our theft of autos has been okay. This has been creeping up the past couple of months. It's getting cold up. I know I've harped on this a couple of times, but just the past 2 weeks, it's happened twice for it. It's the warming up of cars. If you're warming your car up, hopefully you have an automatic starter or where you can lock your doors. Like I said, the past 2 weeks, we have had 2 more cars stolen up. So if you're going to do that, you kind of take your chances, but we advise against not doing that. You just do. And then last but not least, this is our 7 major crime indicators. Like always, this is set by Stats Canada. These are the crime indicators that they feel best describe what's going on in the neighborhood. This is up to date, December 13th. We're almost at the end of the year, so this is a pretty good look at what our year end is going to look like. And it's pretty good, especially in this day and age in the unrestricted police service. As you go across there, sexual assaults, they are up, but at a small number, the smaller the numbers, the higher percentage looks. And then as you stay on 6%, robbery is that. Breaking enters were up 10%, but if you were here last month, we were up 18%, so we've dropped another 8%, and at one point we were up almost 30%. So we have been able to shrink that down to 10%. Theft of autos only 7%, theft of autos 28%. In total, we are down 5%. Anytime there's a negative number at the end, that's good news.
For our regular attendees and those that attend the meeting on a regular basis, you're going to hear this, or you've already heard this, but I'm very proud of the fact that we've been able to drive down the 7 major crime indicators. I know that we had a bit of a plateau in 2017, but prior to that, we've steadily driven them down, which is very, very difficult to do. So the hard work from the men and women in the 43 division continues, and it shows. Like Adam said, these stats aren't collected by us, this is Stats Canada.
One comment on the sexual assaults. We talked about it before, just to let everybody know that I can see that from last year to this year, 129 now we're 176. I did reiterate the last meeting that a lot of these sexual assaults are familial ones. They're not ones that are just stranger on stranger. That's a very low percentage. But also at the end of the year now, we can look with the Me Too movement that has been going forward. A number of these, I don't have the exact numbers, but a lot of them are some of them are historical sexual assaults as well. Things that may have happened decades ago. We had a victim this week who was reporting sexual assaults from 30 years ago. And those stats would be included in this as well. So just because I know when you look at those numbers, it does look like we're a little bit higher for 2018. But again, the historical ones. involved in those.
There's one more stat that I look at when I try to do my analysis of all of this information is, when I came here, I had to analyze all this and take it all in. One of the biggest numbers that I looked at was the arrests by the officers in this division are up 3% from last year. And primarily I said, I want to know, what are they? And I don't want the silly little arrests counting that way, but primarily the number of arrests that have been impacted by the officers in this division are from those 7 crime indicators, major crime indicators. So it tells me that they're out there working and that working together with the neighborhood officers, street crime, the investigators are all working and pulling on the same role as much action, because that is what you see here, a small decrease in the numbers. Then the word gets out there that we do crime in 43 division, these men and women are going to find you, and they're going to put you before the courts. So that's our function, is to put these individuals before the courts on these major indicators to keep the crime rate down for you, to make your community safer. So that's why these officers are working. I can't believe how hard they're working. It's impeccable, the number of things across my desk that I've seen since I want to put that up. That's a lot of cooperation with you and working with you in the communities.
I usually have a little tip here, but it's the same. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
So what's up? Came for a night.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I know most here, but for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Paul and my partner is Willie. We've had a couple of inquiries, and we had previously as well of neighborhood watch program. And as we go on, I'm sure we can appreciate as people's lives get busier and busier, and 2 people working at home in many cases. There isn't always a time or the occasion to have a meeting such as this for a neighborhood watch. And over the years, interest hasn't declined, but the opportunity to meet like this has. So about 2 months ago, we had a chance to meet Dee Dee, who's actually a member of the 53 Division CPLC committee, and she has watch. So many things. Sometimes the method has to change, which gave me spend meetings, and the message doesn't have to, which is trying to reduce the time. So I need to get swapped through traffic all the time, so I appreciate that. Just allow her a few minutes to get stopped. But yes, yeah, we also go to meeting concerns.
I think I need to be back.
Okay, so why don't we'll go to community concerns for now. We'll follow up on the last ones, and allow DD some time to get set up.
As Constable Rowe was saying, and again, I know a lot of you are familiar with the format, we always present an opportunity for the new visitors as well as our longstanding CPLC members to come and give them an opportunity to bring any concerns that they have, questions that they have regarding things going on in their community. First thing we do is we follow up with any concerns that were raised at last month's meeting. I know that Reg Wolf had a question regarding a break and enter that took place in his community. Reg isn't here today. Ultimately, we were looking for Reg to provide us with more information regarding. So we'll follow up on that when he's back. I think he's on vacation. And then we had a question regarding TTC buses parking on the street as compared to the turnaround that's provided down at the end of Lawrence Avenue near Rouge Beach. So Paul's done some looking into that, and TTC has replied with saying there's lots of opportunity for you to complain to TTC. They don't really consider that to be a policing issue. And then when we brought that to their attention, they actually had an inspector go down and take a look at it and have been monitoring that situation. I don't know if it's correct, I don't see Jay here, but he brought that up last meeting, and the information I'd like to put back to you is the TTC is more than willing to deal with those sort of complaints, so just give them a shout. Do you have anything further on that, Paul?
Well, they have as stuff where you said robust complaint system, their own on-road inspectors, and they're happy to go down as they have to check it out. Did you want some more time, Mike? Okay, guys, just again, thank you so much, PD, for a long trip and fighting traffic. Just a little little kind of a caveat. This is not a training session; it's an information session. So those that are interested, we can grab your names after, and we can proceed from there just to get an overview.
Also wanted to say too, Dee Dee is a part of the 53 Division CPLC, so
she is a CPLC member, so she's familiar with kind of how we operate and what goes on.
So first of all, thanks for having me. So this is an hour presentation, but I'll plow through it in about 10 minutes. And then if there's anything afterwards that you specifically want to know more about, we can do that. So a year ago in my neighborhood, I live around sort of Lawrence and Young, North Mills and Young. Something happened in my neighborhood, which we'll see in a second, which is why I decided to start doing this. I called our community officer at 53 Division, Tim Summers, and we started to sort of talk about what we could do in our community to try and be aware, be safe, and start communicating so we could share things. And I wanted to start this online Google group. Basically, I took it from the Toronto Police website to create meaningful partnerships through trust, understanding, shared knowledge, and effective community mobilization to maintain safety and security in our communities. So I looked up community, and it's a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. So between that and the police quote, this is what's happened. Okay, so that's not working. I'm just going to pull up the video on the internet.
In the front of a crowd, that's good. It's on the corner. Yeah, yeah.
I live in Lawrence, and it's a great community. I love the fact that there's all sorts of individuals and families, lots of kids, lots of business people, and in the fall, some in my street, and it's a Saturday at noon. A young woman was falling from the subway by a guy, and he ended up coming up from behind without notice, slashed her and stabbed her in the head and neck. So days after that incident in the fall, I decided to go.
And realized while they were asleep, they might look at their security camera and had anything.
My name is Dee Cameron, and I live
I think something's resetting. Sorry, the projector's resetting.
Can I speak for 2 minutes?
Absolutely.
Sorry, just keep all talk.
Oh, too late.
Yeah.
for the first time in about 3 years, I'm live tweeting the event. Okay, the only reason why I'm doing that is to see the numbers, see the kind of numbers people are reaching. I have a feeling that we used to reach numbers of hundreds of thousands of people, and I have a feeling that we're going to do the same thing. So basically, anytime Adam LeBlanc or anybody says something, or Julie says something worth putting out there, I'm just kind of taking a note, putting a quote in there, saying Superintendent O'Neill's. And in 24 hours, I'm going to measure the results using analytics, and also be able to send an email.
My name is Dee Cameron.
How many people we reached. Second, I met with for a while, Eric from the city of Toronto, regarding social media and adults today. Now, 85 to 90% of bullying and harassment and fight calls at schools, these numbers are statistics start from some form of social media. So what we're going to do is something also that we did about 3 years ago. We're going to run social media courses for adults or parents of kids who are in school. We've already been approved for 8 schools in Scarborough in 43 division. The city of Toronto's paying for coffee and that kind of stuff. And I actually, after I had this meeting, I went to Centennial College and met with Police Foundation students. So I'm going to do a presentation, and the Police Foundation students, young people, are going to be teaching the adults and the parents and answering other questions. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Just one question. You said coffee, but there's crackers as well?
There may be crackers there, yeah, if you something like that. So we're pretty excited about that to start back up again. 85, like I said, 85 to 90% of harassment, bullying, and fight calls start from some form of social media.
And I live at Tina North, and it's a great community. I love the fact that there's all sorts of individuals and kids, lots of business people. And in the fall, something shocking happened literally at the end of my street, and it was broad daylight. It was a Saturday at noon. A young woman was followed from the subway by a guy, and he ended up without notice, slashed her and stabbed her in the head and the neck. So days after that incident in the fall, I decided to go door to door in my neighborhood and tell people about this online private Google group that was being set up. Just last week, there's a prime example of how amazing this system works. One of my neighbors woke up in the morning and realized they'd been robbed while they were asleep. They went and looked at their security camera and had amazing images of the individual. Now, obviously, they called 911 and the police came, but those images were given to them. But she also sent the image to me, and within an hour, hundreds of families got this. And I'm happy to say that somebody in my neighborhood watch group identified the person, and within hours, there was an arrest made that day. My message to the criminals and the members of my group's message to the criminals is, we're watching them, and we will call the police.
So basically at the end of my street, something happened and it was pretty shocking, and a lot of our neighbors went into panic mode because we thought this was going to happen again and stuff. So I called our 53 Division Crime Officer, Tim Summers, and this is basically what started. So that was a Saturday, and a couple of weeks later after I spoke, I kept calling our 53 Division because anybody can call this division and ask for updates.
60% of women wear the wrong size hat. I can experience that. You don't have to. With all the size hat, and 20%
So the reason I use Google Groups is because it's an online private Google Group forum. So I set it up so that I invite the people in my neighborhood. I went on Saturday and Sunday with my email address. Stop laughing, your front row center. I went from house to house, and I wrote down my email address. It was a great way to meet my neighbors because I've only been there for 5 years and I hadn't met a lot of people. And I handed them my email address and I said what I'm doing since we had this incident. And if you want to join, it's a private group, it's not social. And I'm going to be sending out updates on everything because now we've established a relationship with our division and some officers. And by Sunday night, I had 80 people in my group. And Monday, I made my first post, and it was actually a Toronto Police News release of this slashing that happened at the Internet Street. So the reason I'm doing Google Groups is an easy way for groups of people, such as neighbors, to communicate and collaborate, and it's private. You can set it up by sending an email to everyone in groups with one email address. You can invite a group, you can do an event, you can share documents, we share pictures and videos and news releases, and there are a lot of many options that you can do.
Yeah.
I'm the owner of my group, and I've now set up, I've got 2 in Rosedale, some in Leaside, Humewood Park, Richwood Park, Young and Shepherd, Young and Lawrence. They're starting to go everywhere. So there's an owner or 2 of a group. You get invited by an email invite, or you can direct add. Somebody here wanted to own a group or manage a group on Google. It takes 5 minutes to set up. I can help with that. And then you can direct add, for example, everybody in this group because you kind of know them, or you send out invitations to your neighbors. I'm having a consistent welcome message so people are very clear what this group is about. Welcome to the 43 Division Neighborhood Watch. Please use this forum to discuss neighborhood security, criminal incidents, suspected criminal activity, and crime prevention measures. And I always end every post by saying, be safe. So this is what my Google group looks like. Titles of my group, and then you click on one, and you can actually read what it is. Now I use the slasher as an example here. So there's a description on the top of what happened, and the officer sent me a sketch. There it is. Let's try and get play on the top right here. So we share pictures and videos. This is from a Ring doorbell. And the great thing about this is I have some people in my neighborhood that have no clue that this is happening. On the bottom, while we wait for this video to play, who knows what's it's gonna sound like. So anyways, what it is, it's a video of the Ring doorbell. It shows a man in a hoodie coming to this door. He drops a knapsack down. He goes to the driveway. He starts the knapsack and he drives away. He's stolen their car. So this is the technology that they're using to use the fabs through the keys. People in my neighborhood could not believe that someone actually captured this on video. We shared it with our group. We're educating them. And now I also try and have some positive things in my posts. It's not always negative, but positive. Keep your keys in your front door, put it in a metal box. Put it in your purse, take it out to your room all the time. Do not leave it. So people are learning by sharing information. The bottom is what we call these porch pirates. You know, they're following the year. And, you know, we're capturing them and we're sending them to our community officer. He sends it to the video database because you guys have facial recognition now. And, you know, we're teaching we're communicating to our immediate neighbors. So today's purpose, so I do this to a lot of different forums, is to share topics on criminal activity, which you guys have done. I like to introduce you new people to their crime prevention officers, talk about division issues, understand that the police rely on the members of the community to be the eyes and vice versa. I spent 10 days and set them up with this Google group. The reason I use Google Group is because we validate the members before they join to increase the security and the trustworthy. We invite them, and it's private, so public cannot see. There is an active archive of all postings. So I've been making posts for a year, but if I sign somebody up today, they can still go back and look at all the things and educate themselves on the last year. It's easy one-way emails. I send out one email. I've also set it up so that you don't respond to the entire group. Now, you can change that based on what you want for your group, but our group did not want chit chat, they don't want to be part of a discussion, they just want the information and the pictures and the videos. The posts are threadable and searchable, so if you forget something or what it was about, you can go back, hit search, and post, and the thread comes up. All groups are private. There's no advertising, no promotion of any social events, not like my daughter babysit, it's nothing like that, all safety. When I make a post, I always validate it with Toronto Police, or our police liaison, which I am, and I don't know if you guys, if you're all of them or whatever, but I call our crime prevention officer and I ask for more, if he has more information before I make the post. They have to be factual. We do not interfere with police investigations. I make it very clear that we can't have vigilantes. We've had some people that, and post them on the hydro poles. You can't do that because it's interfering with criminal investigation. And I really do make sure that the people know that it's just what's out there, what's public. If it's been on CP24, something like that, that's what I'm posting. I keep all victims a priority. I don't post address numbers, I blur them out. You know, the lady that got stabbed, she does live around the corner from me. I don't want to talk about her, who her name is, where she lives or anything. She's our prime, you know, they're our priorities. Lately with this, maybe why now it's going across Canada, over here, they're keen about it, enter. So one thing I've done consequently, because I do want these criminals to kind of try and be aware that we're doing something different, I created these yard signs and these window decals. So I've already sold about 800, and they're going, people buy them, and they stick them by, you know, your Chubb or your ADTR thing, and you put them on the windows, letting, you know, these crimes, the car thefts or the break-in enters or the sexual, that we do call the police. So moving forward, I have to figure out how to distribute the signs, how to spread the word about the Google group, how to invite members, how do you guys promote it in your neighborhood, each neighborhood different. I meet with the owners and the managers of the group. Some people do it together. You don't have to be in the city. You can be anywhere in the world. You can do it from an iPhone. You can do it from a computer, a library. And it says I was broken into. You make a post. You ask the neighbors on the other block, does anybody have video surveillance? You add that to the post, and it all starts to happen. The police 53 division is helping me. They're going to start a social media account. It's going to promote neighborhood watch groups. We're developing a website so that when the time comes, I could just have that at the end of my presentation. You guys go to the website, share it, and see how it works. So that's basically it in a nutshell. But if anybody has any questions, to sort of decide, you guys have a really big area, so you sort of decide who might want to start the groups. You know, they can be 2 blocks, they can be 1 street, they can be 10 blocks, and all you do is you gather the emails, you add it, and you start to share the information, the pictures, and you go forward.
How do you reach people who don't have Gmail, such as seniors or others? So
this is an online Google group. When I went door to door, there were 3 little 80-year-old ladies, and I got their phone numbers. And you know, I guess I'll try, if there's something huge, you're on a list separate and sticky by my desk. But that's not efficient. So what they ended up doing was adding their children or a relative. So now they get them, and then they call grandma or whoever. Language? Yeah. So far we're all English. I haven't, you know, Google is pretty efficient with translation. I know that if you make a social media post and it's in another language, you just hit translate. I can look into that. I haven't had to deal with that yet. He's not, because I want to own the group. He's very active. I can send him as many emails and questions as I want. And, you know, half the time he doesn't respond. but that's okay. He only responds when he has information for me. So, but I'm allowed to ask as many questions, and we have a beautiful relationship. It works, you know. This morning I read, I don't know if you saw the article on Amazon. Amazon and the police in New York are partnering together. They're putting in GPS tracks into your UPS package, and they're catching the thieves. It's like a booby trap. So I saw that article. I sent it to my crime prevention officer, and I get all the terminology of the levels of officers, but I sent it to 5 of them. They hadn't seen it yet. So, we share information, and I get he's really busy, but when he has an answer or he has more information about a break and enter, he emails me back.
Sorry, one thing. Doctor, when you have your emails and phone numbers or anything like that, what are you expressing it? You have another form that says, this is only when it's going to be used for it, that's all it is. Like, they have to sign off on it.
No, so, I know every neighborhood is different. My neighborhood, I was comfortable going door to door. And I said, here's my email. Because I want to write these email down, so I'm walking through these 100 houses. When I got back to my house, that he emailed me, I added them. And it's an online group. It's like a Facebook group, right? It works like that. It's not public, So everything I post is legit. It's factual. It's already out there. People at my last presentation at the Witchwood Park, which is 13 or 19, I can't remember, division, someone stood up and said, well, what about when you do? I'm like, I don't care if I get hacked, because everything I'm posting is out there already. So it's, not a concern.
Just to talk about the privacy issue, that's why we as the police can't be part of that. If you include us in your group, you can't disseminate this information, because once it comes through our server, we're the state, we're the government, we can't be part of that. Then the privacy commissioner gets a little bit bent out of shape, because if we're transferring information through this group from the police servers, that makes us part of your group, which means the private place. You're allowed to go through this and transfer that information. We are not allowed to be in the middle of that.
It's like Facebook, right?
That's kind of why it's better than dealing with the liaison, and we will provide that contact here as well. And dealing with that individual officer or officers, then that can come back and forth with that information once you provide it to us.
And the other thing, since we're sort of on that topic, I use the term I'm in partnership with Toronto Police. I'm not doing it. They're not an official, member or whatever. And it's great, because you're going to have politicians and real estate agents want to hound you and become part of their group, because they're part of your group. They say, sorry, no, I can't, because I'm in partnership with Toronto Police. So it's a very easy way to say you can't partner with anybody, because there's no biases. You're doing it on your own.
Hey, you as the administrator, you're working 20 hours a week, or how many minutes a week would you dedicate to this?
Like 2 minutes. All I do is I get the information, because the people in my neighborhood know I'm the person who started this group, and they're already members. If they have a new member, they'll email me. I like to try and meet everybody, because I do want it to be a very secure, private group. But I have this one degree of separation, that if someone in my group knows somebody in the neighborhood that wants to join, or they just got robbed or whatever, I will directly add them. But I'm part of a lot of groups around the GTA, so that they can get a feel for what the posts are. I've learned through Toronto Police the proper language to use, very official language. I can't use, judgmental opinion, like sketchy person. I don't want to use words like that. I use, proper language. So I become a member of some groups at the beginning, so they get my few posts, and then they can see sort of how it works.
There's a reluctance, I know this person in Arctic, a reluctance to give up their email address.
Right.
You must have run it.
I didn't. So not everybody has to do it, right? There's always going to be negative people and naysayers, and that's fine. And I'm starting to run into this now the more it's going across Canada. But it's up to, the people who want to learn, and like I said, be aware, be safe, communicate. Everybody's going to do. I know I have criminals in my group. There was some drug deal that went down three streets away from me. And I know that house, the parents are in my group, right? So you're going to have bad people in your group, they may take advantage of whatever it is you're sharing. But I'm only sharing stuff that's already a news release on the news. So not everybody will want to join, and that's fine. Some people who want to join won't like it. The comments I got at the beginning before I made it private to just replying to me were crazy. So I had to quickly shut that down, So it's up to you. Maybe you just do the 10 houses on your street, you do the best that you can. I think you're probably all spread out over the division. So at least maybe try and start somewhere. But you're not going to get everybody. And they don't have to do it, right? They don't have to accept the invite.
That issue came up when we were trying to get away from a printed newsletter.
Right. Yeah. In my last presentation, one of the officers said, your neighbors are, you don't have to like them. And we do have to realize that some are good and bad. But if you're away and your alarm's going off, your neighbor behind you might be able to email you or present to the group. The alarm's going off. It's really important to know that our neighbors really help us out, and I really learned that at the last meeting. But it's just, every division's different, every neighborhood is street by street, it's different. So I would just sort of feel out where it is that you live. Apartment buildings are a whole different ballgame, but they have stuff going on in them as well. I don't like to, on the note of adding people, I don't like to just use, I'm sure you have residential associations or ratepayers. We have that too, but I don't just take all those emails and add it to them. It's got to be more intimate than that, because it's not fair. That's a privacy issue, right? But you could send an email, or whoever the organization is, saying, if you'd like to email the people, the owners.
Think about the fact that some people might move. How does that? I know you've only been there 5 years, but I think about 5 years down the road.
Right. So, yeah. Right. So, it's not like you have thousands of people in your group. I try and encourage sort of 20 to 100 because it's manageable. If you have more than that, then get someone else on the street to start a group. I haven't even thought of that for a year, right? So, but it's a good point. Maybe someone will move into their house and that neighbor will say they want to join, and that'll be, whose house was that before, and you kick them out.
Thank you so much, Judy. Thanks a lot for your time. And if anyone else has questions, if you want more details, please reach out either myself or Judy. I think you'll be here for a bit after the meeting, just during our break, so wait for it to go then. But if any other specific information, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much. When we were having the technical difficulties, we had just discussed the concern from the last meeting, which we've addressed. I want to take an opportunity. We are looking at a bit of a time. So we open the floor now for any concerns or questions from the community regarding issues maybe in your neighborhood. Okay.
Mine's not a concern or a complaint. I just want to say thank you for the years of support in 104. And I hope we continue with our partnership because it really makes a big difference. Also, we're going to be having our Christmas party next Thursday. Deputy Shauna will be there. Our counselor and a lot of people will be coming out. So I just want to say thank you for everything and for supporting us.
Thank you, Angela, appreciate that.
Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. I think I saw another man.
Hi, I'm Kathy Bertello. I am Community Partnership Coordinator at Gabriel Demont Nonprofit Homes right over here. And there's a concern that's been brought forward from quite a few tenants about the crossing guard on Galloway, right by Maplewood School. Now, I know this isn't a parking enforcement meeting, but I thought that I would just bring it forward and see if there's some kind of support that I could get, maybe a trail of reports of incidents that have happened over the years to be able to take to the department, if I can get some support and direction in possibly requesting to have the flashing lights crossing there. This came forward because a few weeks ago, the crossing guard was almost hit. So I don't know if this, if this was just, well, she said, and then it was reported to whatever, but if there is something substantial within the records that we may have access to. The principal of Maplewood School is also on board. He's willing to write support letters as well, because Maplewood School, if you're not familiar with, is a school with special needs children. So if you have a child that, may have needs and control concerns and running out on the street, already Galloway is extremely busy. A crossing guard, nobody's paying attention to them. We need to get something else to get people's attention there to reduce the possibility of people getting hurt and increase the possibility of safety. I bring this concern forward, and I'm open to any direction or suggestions. I've got my card, and I'm looking forward to connecting more with the community.
Jennifer, is there any chance Councillor Ainsley's office could give us a
Yes,
yes?
that's actually just writing down my.
Perfect. We do have representatives from our local councillor's office who generally facilitate all the traffic-related requests. It's not enforcement based; it's changing stop signs or adding their crosswalk, as you talked about. So, if it's okay, I'll grab your information at the end, and then we'll set up an email to get that kind of going.
Absolutely perfect. And if there's anyone else here that has heard of or has experienced the same sort of concerns, please connect with me as well, so we can gather as much information as forward to put our case forward. Thank you.
Are there any other concerns, questions?
Right away, the matter.
Hi, I'm Leah from, my name is Leah Music, and I am at the local community, specifically around the movement schools, and a resident there. This past summer, we had a number of break-ins in terms of almost every night for 1 week, people were coming through and behind each door and each garage door as well. And anything unlocked, of course, was, things were stolen. So one morning, I found several packages and picked it up and went to door to see who owned it and to see names of some of my neighbors in it. I don't think my neighbors are aware of calling the police. I do want to, I came here because I wanted to start up a neighborhood watch, and that was very timely. But a lot of seniors in my neighborhood, and we have a lot of people who are also newly widowed, as well as seniors who are also taking care of elderly partners who are also having health issues. So they're very vulnerable. I myself am living with my mom who has memory issues and my 14-year-old son. So I know at least 50 of my 300 neighbors. We've been there 35 years, but I didn't know where else to go, what else to do, other than knocking door to door. And I was hoping to definitely reach out to Christian to see what I can do to help.
Well, I'm glad that you keep, because we have an open invitation every month, the second Thursday. I want to say that's a lower threshold crime, but I have to tell you, we've seen quite an increase over recent years with theft from autos. My question to you is, that day that you discovered all different property, was it reported to the police that day?
I don't think so.
See, that's the issue. That's the issue.
That's why I said, other than going back to neighbors, I had been broken because I wasn't broken into.
Right.
But I went to the neighbors and gave them like a whole package of like
Yeah.
Receipts and everything else, whatever that they own. I said, this was stolen from your car. Call, whether they did or not, I don't know,
Right.
you know, in terms of following through that. But it's really mobilizing, getting them to understand, the more that you call, the better it is for the neighborhood to be able to, you know.
You couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly what I was gonna say. When you come every month, you're gonna hear me say those almost exact words, is we do rely, like Didi was saying, your eyes and ears. And ultimately, which is the message that I relate to the CPLC members almost every month, is to take that message back to your community. I encourage the reporting of those crimes. Now, some of those lower threshold theft from autos, where it's just change or sunglasses that are stolen, we've gone to an online reporting system, but we still follow up. Ultimately, if we don't know about the crimes occurring because they feel, oh, it's petty, the police are too busy, then we don't know of a situation that you and to encourage people is to take that back to the community and let them know the police do want to know about these offenses. And I think that's an excellent example of where a virtual neighborhood safety watch would be an advantage, because then everybody's aware of it. But they can also, and I hope that you pass that information along, is information with the community, you want to report it to the police. That allows us, we're very much intelligence-led police service now. Our resources, our available officers to go and answer those kind of calls are being reduced. So we rely on that sort of what we call intelligence, telling us cars broken in this series of streets. If we're not aware of that, we're not going to allocate resources to it. But if people report them, and we have an idea that, you know what, this time frame or overnight, this area, this neighborhood, then we at least, because we have limited resources, then we can at least focus on that neighborhood to hopefully prevent those crimes from happening. So,
and the great thing about the Google groups is, you know, if you're sharing video footage, you can ask someone down the street, did you see anything at 6:15 when my car was broken into? And if you don't have a Ring doorbell, which I think is like $80 at Best Buy, it's probably on sale now because it's holidays. You can, you know, if you've got a group set up, you can share the video, and then when you have a video, send it into the local crime prevention officer, and they just add it to the database, you know? Because if you don't really have much and it's a lower level, you know, it's hard. I mean, I do make some positive tip posts, you know, these are the numbers to call if you want to call anonymously. Don't leave jewelry in your bedroom, you know, because, you know, that's just crazy. And, you know, don't leave things in your, I do make positive posts, and one of them is the different numbers to call. You can call 808-4300 and they will give you to the right officer, you know, and get updates and hound them and develop relationships, you know.
Community, very diverse. Neighbors, both seniors as well as new immigrants, and,
right.
and again, cross-cultural and language issues as well. But some of them have videos, and they said, "Oh yes, I showed it, and a neighbor told me, but it was from the top, and there was nothing really that the police could see."
So even though we don't, sometimes the police,
I know they didn't actually. One person didn't say, "Oh, I think it's great." Group would work because of the ones who are that I'm looking at is. I know 20 people around my immediate street.
Yeah.
I you know 5, 10 people that they can then tell each other. Mm-hmm. And I started a coffee drop-in and we have discussion there as a way for isolated seniors to be able to get together, but also to be able to relay information like this that they're not ones to go onto the internet.
Right.
Because some of them don't have that.
Well, maybe you can email me and we can try and figure something out together.
Thank you. And like in terms of that, I wanted to know how to reach out more, because every time I say that to them, some of them have also issues about calling the police. But even if it's not, you know, oh, it's okay, and they let go and it's, but look what happened in terms of, you know, it actually, I've got this whole package of stuff that came from your glove compartment that has checkbooks, and it's actually found by somebody walking your dog, right? So it's still the whole trying to call in, and you know, the fear of what will they say or how that's fair neighborhood.
So, and again, it goes to the message, and you'll hear it again if you come back next month, is report, encourage your neighbors to report, as well as then you're gonna bring that information back. On a regular basis, Adam will tell you, hey, you know what, we've had a rash of break-ins, autos. You're safe, especially this time of year. Don't leave your car running just to warm up. So that's useful information that you can take back and pass. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say no, because we're gonna take a break. We have to take a quick break. Thank you very much for coming. The second half